Hey, I'm Brian Nevison. I'm an ultimate athlete and trainer, and I'm going to quickly take you through isometric options to improve our recovery and our resilience of our Achilles. So if you're dealing with Achilles pain, whether it's short-term, long-term, or you just want it to be really solid for the season, this is for you. So first off, let's go through acute short-term pain that has popped up, then we'll go into more chronic, and then we'll go into more of a training, less rehab scenario. So it's inflamed, maybe it hurts the touch, it hurts when you walk or run. We want to be less aggressive with the stretch and less aggressive with the intensity of the isometrics. An isometric is simply when we are holding a position, producing force, but not moving. So essentially we would hold a stretch, we would hold our weight and not move. Now, high stretch position is typically when we are stretching the calves a lot because the Achilles is attached to the calf muscles. Okay, so here's a couple high stretch positions, right? End range here, or knee is extended as well. We put weight back into the Achilles. Sometimes even bending that knee a little bit is going to increase the tension and the stress and the stretch. So we want to start, if it's acute short term that's popped up recently, we want to start low intensity, low stretch. Here's what that looks like. If this is a high stretch position, we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to go up on the toes a little bit. I'm still going to have weight on my other leg. I'm going to hold on to something for stability. We don't ever want to be fighting for balance. That's going to create tension that we don't want. We want to be super stable. We want to keep it nice and easy to start and see how we respond. So I'm here. I'm going to just gradually shift some weight into this leg, feeling tension through here. I'm just feeling the muscles working, and that tension is going to shift into the Achilles. We're going to hold nice and easy for about 30 seconds. You can get a timer if you want. It's probably longer than you think. After the first set, I like to do some ankle cars. Shin doesn't move, thigh doesn't move. We're drawing the biggest ankle circle we can. I like to do 3 to 5 reps each direction. Then you could do it on the other leg if you want to hit both of them, or you can go back to the first leg. Now, what I like to do initially is keep this similar. We'll do 3 to 4 sets, and we're going to do almost the same exact thing. As you go through, so I'm here, about the same position, low stretch. Feels fine, we don't want pain. If it's a little bit of an ache, that's generally okay. And I'm going to now just gradually shift as I go through the rep, slightly more of my body weight into this, as long as it doesn't feel worse. If it's the same ache that I had when I started, cool. If it's sharp, then I want to ease off and give it more help. So initially, I'm doing 3 to 4 sets in the morning, 3 to 4 sets in the evening, low stretch, relatively low intensity. But that doesn't mean I can't get tired. You might experience some fatigue, totally cool. Then I want to see how I'm feeling the next day. If it's the same or better, awesome. I can do the same thing. I can potentially increase the intensity. If it's worse, then I don't want to do nothing. I still want to do the isometrics, but I'm just going to take it really, really easy. Low stretch, extremely low intensity, but we still need to be loading the tendon if it's going to improve. That is how we get the tendon to adapt. And it's super effective for reducing inflammation. So simple ways to progress this as it starts to improve is, rather than going here, I go into a little bit more of a stretch. A little more of a stretch, a little more of a stretch. Then I can change positions like I showed you before. You can do something like this. And if you have a wall, I bet you have a wall, you don't need something like this. Really simple way to gradually start increasing that intensity after you're fine with just holding your whole body weight is to push into a wall. If I go here and I feel the tension right here, and I'm pushing down like I'm gas pedal, and I start pushing here without letting anything else in my body change, that is going to put more force through this tendon. So a really simple way that you can build up this intensity a lot is to push into something. Now let's say this is more of a chronic Achilles issue. Maybe you notice thickening of the tendon. It's been going on for a long time. You just can't get rid of it, or it keeps recurring. What I would recommend there is we're a little bit more aggressive. I still wouldn't go with a huge stretch initially, but you can go higher intensity. Longer term tendinosis, that tendinopathy, we need more of a stimulus to stimulate a change. That acute inflammation, if we go into a high stretch, high intensity, sometimes we can irritate it more. So we still don't want a huge stretch. Maybe we start how we did before, but we're going to put a little bit more force into it. So I might go here and start pushing, or I might just start off holding my full body weight. If that feels like you're not doing a whole lot, it doesn't create any pain, awesome. You can go into a deeper stretch, you can push. I like this. I like using some form of a wedge if you have the ankle mobility for it, because it allows you to get a deep stretch in the Achilles and the calf without putting a ton on your knee. For me, if I don't use a wedge, I'm here. I'm still going to get a good isometric on the Achilles, but it's also going to hit my quad and knee really hard, and I don't want this to be the limiting factor. Our Achilles and calf, when healthy, can handle a ton of force, so we want that to be the limiting factor. Okay, so we're working on chronic Achilles stuff. Maybe it's longer lasting, it's not as sharp with the pain, maybe it's not swollen. So what we want to do is same deal. We want 3 to 4 sets of 30 seconds, morning and evening, every day if you can. It seems like a lot. It's only a couple minutes. It's only a couple minutes twice a day, and it makes a massive difference. So start with the stretch, same deal, push a little harder. Since we are pushing harder, I'm fine with some sets being 15 to 20 seconds because it is going to be a little bit more challenging and it's not quite as sustainable. But you can also work yourself up to a higher degree of fatigue. Now, as with the acute Achilles pain before, we still want to monitor this and on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis, make sure that it is getting better or at the very least staying the same. If it's staying totally the same and you're doing the isometrics, you are slowly improving the tendon health, and it takes a long time to adapt. So if it's staying steady, that is okay. Now, hopefully it does feel better. If it starts to feel worse, same deal as before, we want to reduce the intensity and the stretch of the isometrics, but continue doing them. Or look at what is going on outside of this type of training. If you're playing a lot, your activity has increased, your high impact activity has increased, these can all affect the Achilles health. Okay, so now, Achilles pretty healthy. Maybe it's not perfect, but you want to make sure that it stays as strong and healthy as possible. What I would recommend, if this has been an ongoing issue for you in the past, continue to do the isometrics. Maybe you don't have to do it twice a day. Still try to get 3 to 4 sets in at least once per day, low to moderate intensity. I still like to go, if I'm healthy, pretty big stretch, moderate intensity, 20 to 30 seconds, 3 to 4 sets, at least once a day. Then, at least twice per week, I'm going to go max effort isometrics, and this is where we get some big gains in terms of resilience. So, boom, boom. I'm going to gradually build up the intensity. I'm going to push hard down into the ground, push up this way, really dig in. I'm going to take about 10 seconds to get to max effort. Then I'm going to hold that maximal effort for 8 to 10 seconds. Then I'm going to relax. Now, this is very intense. It takes some practice to actually get yourself to engage everything you have. Over time, you'll get better with it. So what I like to do for that is a warm-up set at maybe 60-70% of your maximal intensity, then 2 max effort sets, and hit that twice per week. The combination of the frequent low-intensity isometrics plus the less frequent high-intensity isometrics set you up to be healthy and keep yourself low inflammation for the long term. Now, one more thing I'll add is even when I am feeling good and healthy, I still like to do isometrics at end ranges. So long and short positions. So what I will do, just as ongoing maintenance, is I will do isometrics with a hold up here as well as the big stretch. So up here, same as the other ones, you can increase the intensity by, of course, holding weight, but you can always get more intensity by pushing into something and creating that internal force. Our ankles and Achilles can take on such massive amounts of force that using external weights to load them up is actually pretty insufficient. Unless you have some sort of machine that is able to really crank it up, the best way to load it up safely and focus on your Achilles is to drive into something and gradually create more and more and more and more tension. I hope this helped. Let me know if you have any questions. And remember, isometrics are the absolute best thing we can do for our tendon health. And we can always adjust the intensity and the stretch based on our own needs, but we don't want to do nothing. When our tendons do not get some sort of stretch and load, they very, very quickly degrade and get weaker. So if you just rest, when you go back to playing or back to training, your tendon is actually going to be weaker and less prepared than it was before. So isometrics can be very, very gentle initially, and then we gradually build them up.